The Senate has passed a bill to reauthorize funding for the Federal Aviation Administration.
So what does it mean for travelers? Well, Anthony Antoine spoke with Senator Ted Cruz this afternoon. He's in the studio with what he discussed. Hi, Anthony.
Hey, Caroline. You know, we had a really good conversation about this issue, but can we all just take a minute here? It's not often a bill gets this much bipartisan support coming out of Congress. Out of 100 senators, only 4 of them voted no. And when you look at how it will impact the aviation industry and everyday people like you and me, so we all can have a better and more positive flight experience, it's a pretty impactful bill. So first, you look here, the list. It will boost the number of air traffic controllers. If you've been following, there's been a shortage right here. So this will be a nice way to get some more air traffic controllers in the mix. But the core of that is really safety. You're going to see new airplanes. They will need to have voice recorders. Right now, those airplanes only have 2 hours capability to voice record. Now it will jump up to 25 hours. When you look at investigations, that's going to help there. It's also going to raise commercial pilot retirement age from 65 to 67. Now, this one was kind of controversial. The FAA actually asked Congress not to raise the age here because they wanted to do some more studies and research and talk about the proficiency or the safety aspects of raising that age. But Congress in the short term decided to raise it because naturally it's going to have more bodies floating around here. So now let's take a look at how it will impact your flight experience. Let's go. So companies will have to accommodate the seating requests for passengers with disabilities. A seating policy will now allow children to sit next to their parents or even their guardians at no additional cost. Parents, you know, if you have a flight, multiple kids sitting in different places, that can be very hectic if you don't have the money to pay for it, so you guys can all sit together. So now moving forward, that's going to be a much needed change here. And it automatically refunds customers for delays. So if you have a 3-hour delay for a domestic flight or a 6-hour delay for an international flight, you're going to get that refund. So here's what Senator Ted Cruz had to say about the passage of this bill.
And that's an important protection. There's a lot in this bill on the consumer side, but there's also a lot on the safety side, because the most important thing and the top priority of the FAA should be ensuring safety. You know, when you or I get on a plane and we put our kids on a plane, the number one thing we want is to know that we're going to land and our family's going to be safe. And so this is a major investment, not just in safety, but also in modernization. Modernization both of air traffic control, but also some of the next stages of how air travel is changing, whether it's drones, whether it is helicopters and robot taxis. I mean, there's a lot of technology that is moving forward.
So this $105 billion bill is now headed to the House, and by all accounts, it is expected to make it out of that chamber as well and ultimately signed by the president. Now, once it is signed, it will last until fiscal year 2028. Now, this 1,000-page bill has so many components to it, from programs to support women in aviation. Only 3% of pilots, for example, are women. So there's going to be new programs for that, not to mention helping our veterans transition from being service members to careers in aviation. And you know what? We put a nuts and bolts list for you with everything you need to know. If you really want to get to the crux of this bill, just head to fox26houston.com. Caroline?